Jeez. I want that open. We're live. Now, let's just figure out how one could share this link. What could the link be? Where could it be? Oh, I have no idea, Dale. Going with the flow. Going with the flow. I'd like to talk about just whatever. Looks like there's only a little bit of news today, so I'm debating on what I want to do for a video. Whether I want to do a rambling 30-minute special, or if I want to, well, I guess it depends on what topic I want to do. I guess that's what it's going to come down to. There's a few different topics I'd like to discuss at some point during this off season about teams and how they could communicate better with their fans and with the league community as a whole. I have a thought about how maybe to do a team building video, at least through my eyes, of how I would like to what I would like in a player to have on a team, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I mean, there's other things. I kind of would like to talk more about the sorry, I'm posting the link to the stream in the Discord and on Twitter. I'd like to talk more about contracts and how I think that I have another idea about the whole contract person deal and how to avoid it. I think Piotrek will be upper half for sure, easily. If not, I mean, shoot. I think that he could be the best one outright to start. I mean, he's very meta dependent. That I will acknowledge. He is definitely meta dependent. But he isn't. You know. Well, it was the meta. I think it really was the meta. Like his Poppy Sejuani Trundle Xin Zhao situation and Viego, and I mean even the Lee Sin sometimes, like all that stuff really isn't him. He's more of a Graves, Hecarim type of jungler. So he wants to play carries, the Kindred. And on TL, I think that he should be allowed to do that. Really, if you think about it, this could be really similar to how maybe even this is obviously to a very lesser extent. People are going to think that I mean the same thing. They're JDG, but they're not. You could play like JDG with Summit and Piotrek playing more carry-oriented stuff, leaving Harry on more of a utility mid laner or a scaling mid, and the AD carry, play utility, fill out the comp, along with core in the bot lane, because you can't really rely on the young guys to perform well, and I think that might be a way to utilize them the most. everybody likes the thumbnail that I did for this. It's a riot, to say the least. Pun intended. Actually, let's see. Is the Pioshik news official? Like, that's a big deal. No. Oh, well, I am doing a roundup. Yamato ended up leaving. Okay. Well, I have a real video to do now. A roundup to do, so I guess I don't have to do a makeup. I don't have to make up something on the spot. Who becomes the guy? Or the individual? Could be a woman. So it's this individual is the one who I give credit to, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Hello, Salvador. Thank you for supporting me once again. I appreciate that. Keeping this channel alive and stopping by the stream. Trying to get this stream done because I just did that football video. I mean, I don't know if you became a member for those or not, but the football video's done, and I'm gonna stream, and then I'm gonna do the roundup probably in a couple hours, just to do that and get that done. And yeah, so I guess the Pioshik news isn't official yet, so we're going to talk about that tomorrow, because I think TL said they're announcing the roster tomorrow, so that'll hit Leaguepedia tomorrow, and then I can officially make my video on it. Don't want to make too reactionary of content. Eventually, I'd like to be able to stream more consistently. I know doing it randomly is not beneficial for any of us, but it's kind of whenever the internet is in my favor that it's optimal to do it. It's not consistent enough. Oh, what's this? What's this? Oh, geez Louise, Omar. What? My man's Omar did what? I don't even know how to... Got my first super thanks. I didn't even know how to respond to that. Wow, yesterday it told me, oh, that, I know why that happened. I know why this happened. Let's see, what does this tell me? Oh, we're close. Close. Yeah, so just earlier I was talking about some ideas I have, doing a video about how teams can do content better, because everybody and their mother likes to talk about it. But I think that there is a way to do it that isn't corny, and I really don't want to make... I do not... I mean, clearly I'm not a person that wants to make content that's silly and reactionary and, you know, fun for that matter, but I think teams have an opportunity to connect in a more efficient way. Kind of a shame. This freak roster looks like poo, as does Astralis. Hope my cat doesn't screw this up. She's freaking out. So, if you didn't check out my video yesterday about Gnar versus Gwen, I thought that was pretty interesting. If you missed it, it was the most common top lane matchup of last year, 100 matches. And what I found really interesting about it, after doing it and actually really realizing it when I was about to start filming, that when you got Gnar ahead by 21 or more, 21 obviously is just the number I have, it went 11-11. Gwen, on the other hand, that far ahead, went 6-4. And we all think, oh, well, Gwen, once she's ahead, she's going to run you right over. And actually, it wasn't the case last year. In the Gnar matchup, Gnar obviously having relevance throughout the game in team fights and things like that, and can overcome that. Well, I mean, as a rumored roster, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think that it's like it's Bin and the old men. You know, I don't know what Tarzan's age is, honestly. Actually, I can look that up right now because I have Leaguepedia open. But with Doinby, obviously Doinby is no longer like a carry. He is, I mean, he can carry by playing stuff you don't expect, but he's not going to like straight up carry for you. And Tarzan will be 24, so he is what he is, which is a very good player. I mean, if Uzi can return to form, that team's going to be disgusting, but that's a big if. The top esports super team, I would say, is more appealing right now. Looking at what that might be with Rookie and Jackie Love alongside each other, or Rookie going in place of Knight. I don't really think the top roster is better than it was last year. I think it's lateral, but that LNG roster I would have definitely below them, especially without knowing what the support's going to be. Is it going to be Ming? I mean, theoretically, that makes sense, right? Uzi coming back and Ming going to LNG. If that becomes the case, that team is in quite a spot, because I would give Uzi Ming an edge if Uzi comes back to form, for sure. I think Rogue might definitely got worse. Odo really looked to be like one of the better weak side top laners in the West, if not, in that conversation as one of the better weak side players overall. He's world class. That doesn't mean like best in the world, but world class. When he goes to Worlds, Odo won't lose you games outright by himself. So with that in mind, Sisgenda, I did not like in my limited viewing of him. I believe he played for Vitality a couple of years ago. I could be wrong. So if I'm thinking of the right player here, I do think they took a step back. And I have to see if Comp and Trimby can follow up their performance from Worlds and the playoffs, because it very well could be meta dependent, right? People love to just look at Worlds and say to themselves, oh my god, Zeka did so well. Like, yeah, but you also have to take into account they did very well in summer, which means that he was good for an extended period of time, where I mean, comp was good during summer at times as well, but there are players that really heated up at Worlds or recently in our mind that really we need to think about their entire year, season, or entire career and look back and think to ourselves, well, was it just because the meta fit them? You know, I cannot play any league really, which is kind of ironic because I do talk about LOL Esports. I've got carpal tunnel so bad that if I play 3 games of ARAM that night, my hands go numb. So I am not going to even bother playing League. I do not like waking up in the middle of the night and having to shake my arms and hands to wake them back up because that is what happens. Um, it's terrible. I tried to play ARAM 6 months ago, and literally my hands were fried that night. Like I couldn't, and I didn't even play a lot of ARAM. Like I said, I only played a handful of games. I'm doing well, Ricardo. How about yourself? Thank you for asking. So yeah, it sucks not being able to play League myself. I used to play support, and I was pretty damn toxic. I'm not gonna lie. I was a very toxic player. Um, a younger version of me, a couple of years ago. But carpal tunnel, like I said, the last few years has been bothering me, so I stopped playing. And every once in a while, I would try to play, and my wrists would be screwed up that night. So I was just like, I'm not even bother doing this anymore, because I would just tilt anyways. So I guess it wasn't toxic. I was just a massive tilter. I can't play with tilters. I mean, I like to play the game. Well, I mean, I guess I like to play the game. I just hate playing the game with people. Then that's hard to play a team game that way, right? Um, you think about this, analyzing the games, watching the games, data. That's all on me. All the data I do is on me. If I screw up, it's my fault. In a team game, I got to play with people that might not be doing their job, might not be doing what they're supposed to do, and now I have to carry them. No, thank you. I am not that. I'm not that kind, I guess, when it comes to the game. So when they have, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty toxic. Um, but that's why I like at least looking at it from a analytical point of view. You look and you moneyball it, and you say to yourself, I can draw conclusions about the game without actually playing the game, or well, I can't draw conclusions, but I can make some inferences, then go to people that play the game and talk to them and say, does this make sense? Does this go with what you think? And sometimes it surprises them, and other people, like the Nargwen video, I asked one of my subscribers who is in the North American scene about it, and they confirmed my thoughts and suspicions about it. Yeah, I do totally. You depend on your team, and it's tilting. Like I think to myself, and obviously solo queue is a different beast. But you look at um, pro, and when Soul has a 90% win rate, my thought process is we need to get Soul. Like we got stack Drakes, we got stack Drakes, got stack Drakes, and this was even years ago. Stacking objectives and things like that, and you just couldn't get everybody on the same page. Now with the voting and things like that, I guess maybe that changes, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Or he'd be alongside 80 carries because I played support, and they'd like get hooked by Blitzcrank and whatever, and I'm just like, I can't do this. I can't do it. No, thank you. Um, I know in the Discord we had something about it. So I technically don't have a. My favorite esports organization is Optic. I've been an Optic fan since 2007, 2006. Whenever Black Ops 1 came out, I became a fan of Optic Gaming and Call of Duty. That was where my love for esports really was born. Um, so, how does that relate to League and LOL Esports? Well, when Optic joined League, I had already known about League and I'd played a little bit with some people, and I followed it. Optic left, obviously. Once Optic got sold to who now owns Immortals, at first it was still Optic, but Immortals owned it. I said I'm not a fan of anything. And technically, I'm not a fan of any region either, specifically. I think many regions have some perks about them that I could pinpoint and say I enjoy. But specific teams, not really. 100 Thieves, technically, Nade Shot is one of the most popular Optic players of all time. So there's a little bit of that going on, but I wouldn't say I really care about their team. I will say I do have a bias against Fred Brion because the way they play the game, it puts me to sleep. And at 3:30 in the morning, when you're trying to watch a Fred Brion best of three, you literally, like, who needs ASMR to go to sleep? Who needs rain to go to sleep or waves of the ocean? No, just watch Fred Brion and you're going to fall asleep in your chair. I mean, top lane, I like the idea of top lane, but then you might not be able to do it. I mean, I might not be able to win straight up. I can't farm for anything. No problem, fanboy. I clearly see you might be an Immortals fan. I'm sorry to. I'm sorry, just not to. I mean, we talked about the rumors about Ruler back when they came up. I do not believe that they are. I mean, we haven't seen them come to fruition yet, right? So, I mean, the JDG super team sounds good. It reminds me a lot of JDG last year and Gen G last year. And we'll see at Worlds if they have too many cooks in the kitchen if they can't get it done. Okay, well that's good then, because I'm gonna say I don't like the Immortals. I mean, Immortals ownership. I mean, took Optic from me, so it. I guess I'm a little salty about it. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. My cat continues to freak out. I thought she wanted out. She didn't. Um, but speaking about the Discord, there are polls on the polls channel in regards to what region you play in. I think there might be one about how active you play. So if you're in the Discord, you'll know how many people in our community play and what role they play and things like that. Um, yeah, the Hoonie Rainover days, I just went through them in my project. Welcome, Dark Saint. I just went through them in my project and did the stats for 2016, and I'm on CBLOL 2017 to do so. I guess I'm learning about those days retroactively via Leaguepedia and stats. One of those things that it's kind of funny, right? An NA player goes to the LCK and wins. Player coach interviews. So yes, I would. I don't know how long they would let me do it. Not to be like a smart ass or anything. Only reason being is I feel like there are questions people have. There are questions people have that don't get asked because people don't really want to answer them. And I think somebody has to do that. And I think there's a way that I believe, actually, because this is a great thing. I like the thought of after a game, the team sits down, right? They sit down and they answer questions from the fans, from whatever, live, just like media and pro sports. And that's all you do you for like 10 minutes. You get that done. And you answer the questions the fans have, because oftentimes, I mean, people like they ask like, how do you feel and this and that, and it's not specific enough. I want to be like, what made you pick X champion into this? This doesn't happen often. Why do you feel that way? Coach or player wise, why did you itemize this way? It's not very common, especially if you see that it's scrutinized on social media. Why did this person do that? Because nobody asks that question in the interview, and there are not a lot of people that do those interviews. Like I subscribe to Travis Gafford's channel, so I know that he does what he can. And Ashley King does what she can, and there are other people, obviously, you see on the show, on the broadcast, they ask some questions, but they aren't as specific as that. And oftentimes I feel like that's what people get upset about most during game is like, why are they making that decision? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? And I think, especially on the losing end, those questions should be asked to try and bridge the gap between the fans and the players. I feel like the fans would have less resentment for the players if they at least heard the reasoning behind the decision. So that's a long-winded answer, but I think that is some questions that need to be asked. Like, why, for instance, when somebody is at Soul Point and they go take Baron instead of fighting for Soul, or if you are against that team and you win the team fight, you take Baron and you don't prevent Soul. Like, someone needs to ask that question, especially if in the end it seems they lose the game or whatever. Be like, do you regret that decision? Not who made the call, but what did you see there and why did you want to do it? Like, questions like that need to be asked. I think Fly has a better roster than TL. I really liked Vikla last year with KT, and I thought Prince did well also. So I think Fly is definitely the best team on paper. I do not think that they will win spring, though. I think that they might hit some speed bumps. TL also, and you could see a team like C9, EG. Not I almost said something that I would have been wrong. EG, C9, one of those two I could see winning spring, only because their nucleus is more comfortable with each other. Excuse me. Do you mean by winter split, Saint? Do you mean the LCS spring split, or do you mean because winter split is? I mean, I know minor regions call it winter and summer or winter and spring. I don't know what region you're referring to. Oh, so LEC, I have no idea how they want to do their schedules, outside of what I know they changed, that they have the three, they're doing three splits where it's one round robin and then a bunch of best of threes, best of fives, and things like that. So they're doing single round robin where all teams play against each other. The top 8 move on to best of threes, best of fives. I don't know if it's Rumble stage or not exactly. I'm not a big fan of it. There's a video on my channel about it. So really, if it starts in February, it starts in February. I don't know when. I didn't see when it was going to start or when it was going to end. I'm waiting for Leaguepedia to tell me, honestly, and then I go from there and work back and do my previews. So, I'm not a fan of the schedule. Thanks. The thumbnail's great, right? It was great paint work. I thought Sandbox was the fourth best team behind KT. Fifth best team. I thought KT was better than Sandbox. I thought KT was better than DRX, and KT didn't do it. Damn it. Prince looked good until playoffs, and then he just didn't get it done. He didn't get it done. And they had issues. Dove and Krakow are not good, at least in my opinion. And Closer looked good throughout the year, one of the better mid laners. But, you know, I thought KT was going to win. Not win Worlds, but get the fourth seed. I think the LCK is dropping off this year, personally. That does not mean that the LCK is still not going to be as good as. I think I think everybody but T1 dropped off. That's probably wrong because HLE obviously is better. So I think the region as a whole, T1, and then like it was T1 and Gen G like really really up there. Now it's like T1, a drop off to DK and HLE. DK are the same in my opinion that they were last year, and then after that it's like a mess, you know. And I don't think it's as good as it was this year, where you had other teams that you thought were really competitive. I think KT could be good, but there's a lot of question marks around KT. But relative to the LEC and LCS, I still think they're better than both the LEC and LCS by so much that it's still going to come down to the LPL or LCK for it all. Believe me, the LCK has so much talent, they don't know what to do with that. They have so much talent. They have players in contract prison. Damwon Kia has a few. Like, they have players in contract prison. They just have to stop doing that, and they'll be fine. I mean, I could see an argument for Damwon Kia being better. I just think right now, without watching games, I think that they're about the same. I think Kana, Nuguri really struggled at Worlds, so Kana, I don't think he's going to be worse than Nuguri played. And then as far as Duckdom versus Deft, I think that that's a wash. I don't think one is better than the other at this point. Deft's highest highs are better than Duckdom, but he is not at that peak anymore. He is a utility AD carry, so, you know, it's down to Canyon and Showmaker still. I appreciate you folks stopping by the way. I know that it's always random what time I do these things, and I know that there's, you know, it's not the most entertaining thing in the world, but talking about League, I think that it's a good way to spend a, you know, couple hours. I haven't actually looked at the solo queue meta yet to try and figure out what it's going to look like. Only because they're still patching things up. In January, before Worlds, I mean not before Worlds, before Spring Split starts, I will have a video going over the patch that the games will be played on, as well as an additional maybe video or add-on to that singular video about the most played champions in solo queue, like the highest win rate stuff, and how that correlates to players' champion pools, who might be willing to play some fringe picks that we're seeing early on. Last year we saw Talon and Zed and some crazy stuff in the jungle in spring, and I hope to see stuff like that again. So we'll have to see. Hey, I'll be friends with you. The Discord, a bunch of people talk about League there. If you want to go join on in, right now it's, sometimes it's dead, but there's like 350 of us. So, you post something in there, somebody will swing by and say something. Um, you know, as far as, yeah, you want Don Monkey to play that way for sure. Yeah, I think that the community needs to talk about League more. Just kind of sit back and talk about it. People don't, the thing is, like all these people that talk to you guys, because I don't watch the co-streamers, the pundits. So, the streams, the only podcast I watch is Hotline League. And it depends on the guest. No offense to Travis and Mark, they do great, but usually the guest and, that's a type of topics and questions that'll be asked, and that's the sort of stuff that I'll listen to. But a lot of the people, like, I think that they have a resentment to their fans because they've become so big and people have so many different opinions, and the League community is so toxic that the person that is talking to you, so in my place, in my seat, that obviously has bigger viewership and all that, they talk down to you almost, and I don't think they talk to people as equals, and I want this channel to be a channel, and that's why, well, obviously I want to be a channel, but a channel where I can talk to the people that want to talk about League in a way that we're just sitting having a conversation, like I'm drinking a cup of coffee with you at the cafe, or I'm drinking a beer with you at the bar. Like, that's the sort of way I want to portray my content. And obviously I have some analytical content because I love numbers and things like that, but like the roundup and the recaps of games and stuff, like a lot of it is off the cuff. Nothing is rehearsed, and if it is, I tell you, because I just want it to feel like we're just BSing about what's going on, like just talking. I think that's something that people need to do. Like everyone thinks they're smarter than. Damn, I keep running into this door behind me. Everybody wants to think that they're smarter than everyone else, and most of the time they're not. I'll say there are numbers here to back up what I am saying. That does not mean that I am, in this instance, smarter than the person watching the video. I'm teaching them something they might not know already, and meeting people where they're at with some stats and things like that to back it up. I mean, no offense, Delic, but, if the community got large, I would not complain. I hope you stick around if it got large, but I wouldn't. I personally can't say I would complain. I would still be the same way. I just might be. I might actually use the ban button. I guess I haven't. We've only had to use the ban button once on the Discord ever. Well, Ricardo, I have a video like that. I don't know if you've seen it. It was at the end of the video I did yesterday with Gwen and Nar, where I went over the top played matchups from Season 12. And all those champions, you'll notice that a lot of them are repeats, and that's because those were the most played champions for the most part. So if you go to the end of that video, you will see a video, that pops up on the screen right next to my face, and it will take you to that where I go over that in detail. I guess not. It'd probably be overwhelming for sure. That's when I guess people start. And I'm not saying to do this because obviously I'm not a you know, like I would love to get paid, but that's when people start like throwing money at you pretty much to try and get your attention. And that's why I don't post. Honestly, I don't watch streamers, and I don't think I've ever made a comment on somebody's Twitch stream ever, or stream ever. Um, and it's like, why would you bother, really? Not like, obviously you guys are talking to me. We only have like a few people here. Like, but if it was like thousands of people, person probably won't see it. You know. Oh, like a champion playlist? I guess I could do something like that. I might try something out like that, honestly, Ricardo, because it depends. I mean, the Nar Gwen video didn't do as well as I would have liked, given the amount of effort I put into it. So, you know, the trade off effort to return, you know, maybe I need to do a different video and try something else in a different series and see if that gets views. As far as like ranked stuff, so early on in this channel, I did do ranked stuff. I don't remember. I think I did in spring when nobody really was watching, and we were doing like each patch. Not that nobody was watching. Sorry, I had like probably 100 subscribers, but nobody was really watching the videos. Some of those videos have under 10 views. But I would take my video, similar to what I did season 12, but for each patch, which you might have seen. And I had it in spring where I actually compared it to win rates in solo queue, which was something in regards to that. But well, I hope you enjoyed that video, Dalek. I hope it was interesting. I really I thought that there were some interesting conclusions, well, not inferences you can make from that video. Salvador, I am not super. I don't claim to be a scout, right? So the way I view it is, what do the numbers say? That determines if you won or lost laning phase. Now, in the future, like when I thought about this Gwen Nar video in retrospect, I wish I had looked closer to the ruin choices, itemization, summoners, and things like that to try and determine what was the maybe the main factor for why these players were so much better than everybody else in this matchup, right? We look and we say to ourselves, actually, the board is still here and I didn't erase it. But Wayward and Fearness, Wayward was ahead by 43, which was 45 CS more than the average. Why was that? Was it that he did a different ruin? Did he do a different summoner? You know, what did he do that may have had that happen? In hindsight, I wish I'd done a little bit more when I started farming the stats for the video. So in the future, if I do a solo lane matchup, I think I'm going to do a little bit more trying to figure out what it was that caused it outside of, you know, just trading and things like that. That honestly, I mean, I can watch and understand the concept of, but I'm not claiming to be a scout when it comes to that. Thank you for stopping by, fanboy. I hope that you join the Discord if you're not in there already. Subscribe to the channel. I hope everybody that watches this subscribes to the channel. I mean, it'll give me more insight for sure. Like that's sort of stuff that I would have liked to, what I like to do. I think it would be helpful to players. It's helpful to people that play the game because I think a lot of people think Gwen is stronger than Nar. And I think that it is that. Welcome, Jedrick. I think that there is something to draw from looking at what might have been different to cause those things to happen. I mean, I briefly looked at it and looked like the ruin choices were pretty much standard, Fleet Footwork versus Conk, but maybe there was something different in there that I'm missing. Anything that went under the radar? I don't know. I talk about everything. I'm excited about? I don't know. Anything you guys excited about? Outside of like what we already know, right? We know the rosters. Like, I mean, seeing Reckless back is fun. I'm a Reckless fan of a player. Reckless. I would like to see 100 Thieves content. How that's going to go. I think a lot of people think 100 Thieves are going to be a middle tier org. Well, I would hope that honestly, I would love this idea. I believe MSI should be going to minor regions. That would be something that would be super cool that they should invest in, but they're probably not gonna. I think that you saw how well Valorant did in Brazil, um, at times. I wonder how League would do in Sao Paulo. See, I don't want to like rank the teams without knowing all the rosters, and my power rankings will come out in in January before before the split begins. Um, my you know power rankings, I guess, because we don't know all the rosters yet, Ben. Um, Not all of it's confirmed. Finally, Astralis and who else did it? Oh, Kwangdong, the Freaks and Astralis confirmed their rosters today. So it's hard to give a team ranking video out yet. Um, I mean, it's on the list, but it's on the list much closer to when spring begins. Yeah, I could do something like that where I look at the regions, players, and compare stats. Um, my opinion of the stats, I guess. I could just farm the stats and then give my opinion. That would differentiate it from just taking stats. Because I don't want to copy like stats for instance, if I just pulled up Games of Legends and looked at a bunch of stats from the LCK and put it all on a board, I can't pretend that those are mine, right? Those are theirs. I have to put my own twist on it and talk about it. Now I could decipher those stats for people, and I think that that is important. There is a area in League where you got to meet people where they're at, and the majority of the people that play this game are not high elo players. They're not high like they're not thinking at a high level and things like that. And I'm not even claiming that I am. So you need to meet people where they're at. You need to like try and get the divide, like the gold players. What do these stats mean to gold players? Like what do they mean to the plebs and silver and bronze and all that? Like I think you need to meet people where they're at. Can't get upset. That's the whole thing when I talk about like the pundits. They talk to people like, "Oh my God, you don't understand this. Why don't you understand this? You are, and it's like, why are you, like that person's probably like low elo because they don't know better, and you're gonna just talk to them like that, and it's like just try and explain it and or do a video on it and already have a video on your channel explaining it. I've been thinking of doing a series as well where I do like, and I'm sure there are hundreds of people that have done this already, if not thousands, of people that give a basic of what how League for dummies, if you will. And I have thought about doing something like that, but that's been done by everybody. But I don't know. I think I could have some fun doing it. nobody that watches my videos would find it fun because they know about League already, the basics. But I think that'd be something that I'd like post to like my personal social media in hopes that like family and friends and people can watch it and then maybe become a fan of the game. Well, that's why when it came to the CS video, the biggest that's why I went into detail of why those matchups ended up becoming that way. Like the top ones, like oh JDG went top a couple times. It's really what screwed allies with 369. Like I mean, and things like that. Like that's why those things happen. What I'm really trying to draw with that video is a picture of hey, when you are playing League, if you get the Gnar ahead in the Gnar versus Gwen matchup and the Gnar is capable, you can win the game more often than if you did the opposite, which is, I guess, kind of what I ended up trying to do with that video. I don't know. The LEC format, I think, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of screwing over two teams. I'm not a fan of what the message that it sends. I think that there are other ways to do that, and I've been thinking about a video to explain how you do that. And I kind of talked about it a little bit in my rambling video where I talked about contracts a few weeks ago. I think that there is an aspect of that conversation I had that needs to be explained by itself and would completely fix all this whole parity conversation that people want to try and fix with this dropping from 10 teams to 8 teams crap and stuff like that. I think there's another way to do it. Owners won't like it, but there is another way to do it. Because single round robin sucks. If blue side and red side it's 60-40 again, I mean, it's going to screw over somebody. Will it be enough for them to drop out of the top 8? Possibly, but it'd suck if you were 9th only because you played the 8th best team from red side, and you didn't get a chance to offset that. That's another aspect of the Gwen Gnar video I had farmed was blue and red, but I didn't end up putting it on the board. I didn't have enough space, or excuse me, I didn't allocate any room for it to try and determine what was the win rate in this matchup from blue side, what was it in red side, how does that go against what the win rate was from blue to red in the entire season as well, like compare them, if that excuse me, if that makes sense. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing like Gnar won 58% of the game, so it's 70 something. So if that is an HLE reference, Diego, if so, I mean I think they're in the conversation. I don't think that I don't. If I had to bet right now, if someone had told me I had to make a decision right now on who I think would win the LCK in spring, I would go T1. I think that their problems are not as glaring as literally everybody else's. Does that mean T1's going to win spring? No. They could lose. HLE could win. Dom1 could win. But outside of that, I'd be sitting with T1 because the only argument anyone's got about T1 is, oh, they're not going to win because they're going to get complacent. Now, one day, and this could happen in January, Faker's going to lose. He's going to not be what he was, and the team's going to struggle. Now, if that day they determine, let's roll swap Faker and Keria, hear me out, they have a chance to still win. But if they don't, they'll probably lose. I know that's like a 5-head take that, you know, a lot of people probably like, oh my God, no way. Mm-hmm. Mid-split, you might have, I mean, if Faker were to struggle, that would be an option. Yeah, I could try and do different colors. I just have to figure out what's not going to like look like. What's a better? I don't know how to say. I feel like some colors would look bad, some colors would look fine. I have to determine what would look fine, what wouldn't. Like the thumbnail for this, honestly, was spur of the moment, only because the last video live stream I did, Gerb in the Discord told me the thumbnail looked awful, and he was right, or they were right, sorry, that it was awful. And I said I'm going to leave it because of the memes, like I'm not going to go change it. But for this one, this is going to be the standard stream thumbnail. I'm keeping this. This spur of the moment, MS Paint brush, like that is peak artistic ability out of me. No one's going to find anything better with my name on it. I should sign the bottom of it. Oh, you're not being rude. You're not being rude. The suggestion is real. Like, it's real. The thumbnails need to be better so more people click on the videos. That's a real argument. I don't have an artistic bone in my body, so creativity is not my thing. You know, hindsight for my thumbnail for the Nar Gwen video, I could try and draw a cat with MS Paint, and I could draw a person with scissors with MS Paint, and I could put it up. That's really generous. I know this. You mean the drawing a cat and a lady with scissors, or a individual scissors, robot with scissors? I don't know, Gwen. But you wouldn't say they would look good? I think that would be peak. Honest to God, I may have something here. I may have a whole lot of great thumbnails to give everybody. Just draw. And you know what? I believe shoot. What was I going to say? I got COVID brain. Damn, it's about the thumbnails. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I guess I don't have enough different ideas of the ways to make it look like. I don't know. Honestly, the thumbnails aren't even my idea. Protex brought up the thumbnails. and doing it that way, and I'm gonna keep doing it. It looks nicer. What was I gonna say though? Cat for Nar. Oh, it was definitely gonna look better than Gen G's logo on their jersey. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I try and like toe the line because I don't want copyright. So when I'm talking about things and putting it in my thumbnails and my videos, I really try not to copyright. So like I can't like put logo. I'm not gonna put logos on my videos and things like that. So it limits what I can do. What I can do. Oh, geez, I'm gonna have to fix this, huh? The word streaming is so small, nobody's gonna be able to read that. It's gotta be bigger. Oh my God Almighty! I better not lag trying to do this. This might drag my PC down. Let's see. Oh, can't do that, damn it. Give me a white box. Give me a box that happens to be white. Thank you. Now give me this. Turn that black. Turn that a lot bigger. No, a lot bigger than that too. Oh, geez Louise. No, 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 no. Damn it. Oh, come on. See if this thumbnail is going to look better. Edit. No. There we go. Yeah, that thumbnail should look a little bit better. Yeah, I'm trying to think about a suggestion too. If you want to throw it out there for the next matchup to do, because nobody got that part in my video, to comment below to do a matchup for the next one. So I guess if you're here, you get the chance to do that. If you pick Jinx versus Aphelios, it's going to take till 2024 to do it, but otherwise, I think the solo lane matchups will be the most interesting. Jungle is okay as well, but bot lane will be difficult. Just 1 second. Now maybe the cat will finally go out. I know, it's on everybody's mind. There were so many damn matchups. The problem is, yeah, well, it's the supports that's the problem. I mean, I guess It just take a while. I mean, I guess it won't take forever. It'll probably take 2 days instead of 1 to get all the stats done. I think we all were. Yeah, we are. Same 3 or 4. What was it? You know? That is a video idea, right? Could look at Jinx Aphelios, look at all the... Could do something like that, I guess, right? Not even do CS, or do CS, but also do the support win rates against each other alongside it. Next year, when I do my patch videos, look back, I will be doing... it won't be Jinx versus Aphelios, it'll be Jinx X versus Aphelios X, whatever the most common, pairs are. And I might also do something as well with mid and jungle, jungle mid synergy, and see what synergies have the highest win rates. I think those will be interesting ideas to do. Just trying to think of things that could even appeal to a pro level as well. Like people at a pro level could be like, oh, really? With X are really, the X and Y, these two champions have that high of win rate next to each other. Like we thought they were good or we thought they were meh. And, win rate tells you all, right? Stats don't lie. That's what nobody can deny what numbers say. What causes those numbers is up for debate sometimes, but the number itself, can't deny the number. It is what it is. I mean, part of me, there is a small part of me that, well, that's not a small part of me. If this channel is made for, nobody is doing what I'm doing. So, the goal, honestly, the goal for this channel when I started was Riot one day says, we think that there is value in having a daily streamed video that goes for 30 minutes a la Sports Center, right? Where you just cover the league news of the day or you cover whatever's going on in league that day and do that every day. There's games and there's news and like that. And then another thought is analyst. And but I said I'm not an analyst or a scout. But I do believe that there is value in numbers and looking at numbers. Tim from 100 Thieves, that's kind of how he got his, he got his start doing that. So, I mean, if a team came to me and said, hey, we want you to do this stuff for us, this analytics for us, I'd be like, okay, well, pay me and sure. Sure, why not? Sounds like goals to me. I'm not going to expect it. I'm certainly not going to expect it or pretend like it's going to ever happen, but it would be awesome if it did. Um, Otherwise, my inspiration for this channel is the hockey guy. A lot of the whiteboard was the style in which that he does the whiteboard I thought was really inspirational. The whiteboard's a great idea, so I did that, and I do similar. Um, the whiteboard's the similar part, and then everything else is kind of just like nobody does talk about League every day or fills in the Western fans on what happens in the East in the morning or vice versa. Like I think like that there is importance to that. So when you go to Worlds, you don't say who the hell is JDG or who is Red Canids or what's going on with PSG Talon. Like that's what my channel is for. To give you what you're missing. Do. Excuse me. Oh, couple big trades in my. Really? But yeah, I mean, if orgs came to me and wanted me to do content, I wouldn't turn it down. You know, I have a sports management degree. That's what I went to school for. So, oh, it's cynical. The poll. Old pierogi coming in hot. Isn't that what? I have not seen CLR Bruce Rivers. I don't know who that is. But with my sports management degree, I know how to do everything within a team from a pro sports side. So esports is the same thing, just a little bit nuanced. People don't want you to run a league, an esports team like a pro sports team, but you can. And I think the success, especially with the North American teams. Oh. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I could have, for the rambling videos, I could. When the ones I talk about teams and their decisions and things like that. When I talk about, like, for instance, yeah. Like when I'm talking about, like when I talked about contracts and stuff, I said I am a pro sports fan, so this is why I know these things. When it comes to a content thing, the content ideas and the pro sports background, I could talk about that. Yeah. I don't like throwing it around though because I didn't use it. So it's like I have it, like, just so everyone knows, like, I do understand what team psychology is to a degree. I understand what this is. I understand what that is. Don't know it all great, but I know it. But a lot of these teams, the thing is, like, coming in with that sports management, like, a lot of these teams want you to have some experience, and not only that, they want you to, you know a lot about the game. Actually, it's kind of funny. I listened to Peter Dunn on a podcast. I don't remember if it was Hotline League or a Summoner's Insight, but one of the two. He talked about how they didn't even, a couple teams didn't even ask about the game in their interview. And I'm like, hell yeah, give me that interview. Not to say I don't know about the game. I watch tons of games, so I know stuff about it. But at the same time, give me an interview where you're talking about stuff that's even easier to talk about. Could be why the LCS struggles, because they don't have people that know about League doing games. I mean, running teams. Yeah, so if I do the intro like that, people might remember it. I mean, the style in which they did it, definitely. It's a style in which you do something that gets people's attention. Not necessarily like they like gave you their qualification, but style in which they did it. Oh, it might have stuck out too. Ooh, another move I can talk about today. Yeah, there's something to be said about that for sure. Maybe for my rambling video when I do talk about content or how I would build a team or how I think about team building, I would talk about something like that, you know. You know, because I do think like there is a way to like connect with your fans in a better way, connect with the community in a better way. Hey, all ideas are good ideas. I'm not a creative person, so a lot of ideas are inspired by others' ideas. Like somebody will bring something up, and then I'll say to myself, oh, excuse me, that's a valid idea. I should think about that. I should think about that, and also, you know, possibly do it for sure. Um, why is 100T thirst? Oh. 100T are trending because they're dropping merch. Music, well, depending on what kind of music you're producing, could be music production, sound engineer. If you're working on like a set or a concert or whatever, but if you're making music yourself, I mean, I don't know, audio production. But yeah, makes sense. Oh, jeez. Hmm. Okay, and there's a lot of people that talk about music. Yeah, that's the thing. I want to be careful. I'm not gonna, upset anybody either by saying, "Oh, I have a degree. I know more." It's like I don't. No, you're good. It's only us right now, so I'm thinking about heading out in about 15 minutes and filming the roundup. Get that done for the day. Um, Call it a day. I appreciate you sticking around, hanging out, BSing, giving ideas, giving your thought. It's important. It is definitely important. Yes, is funny. Well, I hope so. Definitely, last few weeks have been tough. Subscribers definitely plateaued, but it isn't going down, which is important. Viewership definitely down, but I like to think it would get better. Yeah, I appreciate that. I do. Um, you know, that's why I did the Nar versus Gwen video yesterday because otherwise, I mean, that was an idea. Hoping I'd hope do something different, bring something new to the channel, maybe get new eyes, people looking for content like that. Didn't work necessarily, but you know, not even like I'm not even getting my own sub. That's the thing too. Like the subscribers themselves, like only 3% of the subscribers are watching the videos. So what's that about? What is that about? I understand League isn't going on, so there's that. Yeah, they are. They are. And I'm not doing meme reaction content where I take a thumbnail of my face, put it on the video. No, not take a picture of my face, put it on the thumbnail. Like you see it all over the place. People with their mouth wide open, like looking like, really, you staged yourself for that picture, huh? I think those are the people that are getting views right now because everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at this person's face." Well, if you look at all their thumbnails, their face looks like that in every one, so it's fake. Fake. Yeah, it's just like people do it, and it's like maybe if you click on that one video, sure, but it's like you're not surprised for every single thing you read, or like you're pondering every single thing. Like people do the poses, like they pose and pose and pose, and it's like you are a poser now because you're not doing that about everything you upload. Like, come on now. And that's like discredits. Like it's like okay, well this is this really how you feel, or are you posing for your content too? Like, I mean, in your content, are you when you talk about the meat and potatoes of your video, like, are you really talking about how you feel, or are you talking about what people want to hear? And sure, like, it's gonna not get as many views, or people might not stick around as much because they're not hearing what they want to hear. But you got to be authentic, got to be real. Otherwise, they're just an actor playing the part. All right, I'll see you. Thanks for stopping by. Um, for anybody that's watching the VOD, thank you for stopping by, watching, listening. I hope that you become a YouTube member, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Later on today, my roundup's going out, so thank you for sticking with me. And yeah, so I'll see ya. Ricardo, do whatever work you got to get done. Thank you for sitting with me, and I hope you come back for more content.